Awesome. Awesome. Just thinking about pillars, and negative pillars, which Joe was talking about. I found when I was in school, probably one of the most negative pillars was trying to please people. Who reckons they've felt that pillar or they've had that pillar in their life at some stage in their life? You're trying to please everyone. Yeah? Now that's a negative one, and the reason why is because you can never please everyone. You can never please everyone. It's very hard to please people, right? You only have to go through or sit in McDonald's and you see the McDonald's drive-through and you realise that it's hard to please people because when someone doesn't get something they want, they complain, don't they? Yeah? Or if anyone worked in retail or worked in a shop before, if someone doesn't get something to the standard that they want, they complain. And see, it's very hard to please people all the time. And specifically, when you are at school and you've got, 5 friends. If you're like me, you might only have one. But if you've got 5 friends and all 5 people are different, so every single person has a different expectation, they have a different thought, they have a different need and so forth. So it's very hard to please every single one of them. And if that's a foundation in your life, you will never be happy. Because if your happiness and your fulfillment comes through pleasing people, and it's very hard to please everyone, you'll never be happy. So that's a very, negative foundation to have in your life. And I think one of the good foundations to have in your life is then aiming to please God. Because through pleasing God and spending time with God, God's always happy with you. He's never upset with you or angry at you or frustrated with you. He loves you all the time, no matter what. Can anyone think of, just thinking practically, any other negative or bad pillars that we can build? Who can think of any? Insecurities, maybe. Your insecurity can be a pillar that you build your life on, which can come down to people pleasing, or it can come down to always needing a boyfriend or a girlfriend, always wanting to be with someone, always needing to be beside someone, or always needing someone to tell you that you're good looking, or you're beautiful, or you're cool, or you're funny, or you're fat, or something like that. So, an insecurity, that can be a negative pillar. Can anyone think of anything else? Sorry? Lying? Lying can be a negative pillar. True. Some of us can live our lives living a lie, and that's how our lives are built. Our lifestyle is built so that in the end no one can trust us. Anyone else can think of anything? Temptations. Temptations. We can build our lives based on the temptations that come towards us, and we can live those out, and then what happens? That can destroy your life. Similar to what I spoke about before, the temptation of wanting to go to a party and have a few drinks. So the temptation of, yeah, that boy's cute, I'll go out with him, but then he wants more from you, so forth. That's another negative pillar. Anyone think of any other things? Sorry? Pride. That's a great one. Pride. It might be I'm too good for you or anything like that, or I'm too cool to do that, not going to do that. There's many different prideful attitudes that we can have, which is, I suppose, not good for us. Anything else? Whoa, everyone come at once now. What was that one? Relying too much on people's opinions, which is probably comes down to insecurity. You live to please others. Good one, yeah. Low self-esteem, which can come under relying too much on people's opinions. That's a good one. You see, when I was in school, I had a low self-esteem. So what I would do is I would live to try and be funny or to try and be cool so that they would think I was cool, and then that would build my self-esteem up. That is a very painful lifestyle or experience that you could go through. You should not try and build your self-esteem from those around you. You should try and get your self-esteem from God and God only. And that comes through reading His Word. Through reading His Word, where the Lord says in the Bible, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You're made in my image. You're a new creation. The old is gone, the new has come. I love you. I have an amazing plan for you. That's where you get your self-esteem from. It's very hard though, because in a world like today, we live to please others and we want to get our self-esteem from others, but that is a very important one. Can anyone think of anything else? Or have we sort of exhausted the negative pillars? Negative and positive thoughts. That's a great one. Comes down to the mind, which is what Dan was talking about. The battlefield of the mind, thinking positively. Okay, Jarrod come up with some positive ones. He had academic, as in a positive pillar, as in wanting to gain more knowledge, wanting to learn more. What else? What other ones did he say? Who can think of them? Having mentors. Using music. What else? Sport, athletics, and there's another one. The first one. Godly character, which comes through having a relationship with God. Good. Okay, can anyone think of anything on top of that? I'm trying to think. There's another good pillar. Selflessness. I think another godly pillar, which is the opposite of what we talked about before, is just wanting to be yourself. Just being yourself. Being who God has called you to be. That is another godly pillar. And a strong pillar.